Good day, and welcome to the WANA Webinar series. Thank you again for joining, and please welcome Chris Thomas from Mosaic Clubhouse.
Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from today. I'm delighted to be joined for this webinar by my colleague, Mosaic member Marylee, and by colleagues from Platinum Clubhouse in Ireland. Caroline and Johnathan will be introducing themselves and getting us started in a moment. By way of introduction to the topic, we're going to be talking about fostering meaningful relationships in a clubhouse. And we'll get into some detail about what happens when clubhouse relationships work well and how those strong relationships can benefit members and ultimately enhance the place of our clubhouse within the whole communities. Within these kind of discussions, anything to do with clubhouse, it's always good to root what we're talking about to the standards, which is something that we've all got in common wherever we are in the world. So today, this discussion in this webinar is all about Standard 20. And Standard 20 tells us members have the opportunity to participate in all the work of the clubhouse, including administration, research, enrolment and orientation, reach out, hiring, training and evaluation of staff, public relations, advocacy and evaluation of clubhouse effectiveness. That is a long sentence, and I had to practice saying it. Sounds quite easy in practice, but in reality, how easy is that? How often do we have to think about whether we are presuming that expertise within the clubhouse rests with the staff and it's members who are just working side by side alongside staff? How often do we really put the expertise and skills of members front and centre? So Caroline and Johnathan, you've got a short film you're going to show us in a minute, but would you like to introduce it for us?
Hello everyone from Platinum Clubhouse here in Ireland. Today, Caroline and myself are excited to share the journey of creating a cafe in Platinum Clubhouse. We call this space Deja Brew. It all started with the universal desire for a great cup of tea or a good cup of coffee.
We're so happy to be here today and to tell you the journey of what was an kind of underused space, a room on our first floor here in Platinum Clubhouse, and how we've transformed that into a vibrant space now called Deja Brew, where we meet together and collaborate.
The opportunity arose to make a short film, and we are delighted to share that with you today. This video shows what we could achieve when we work together as a team.
And speaking of working together, we had the great pleasure of welcoming Mosaic, who helped us to create this video and to really capture the story of summer of last year. So you'll see us in the sunshine there of last year when we went and filmed this. You'll see also that our members took part in all aspects of the video's production. They were there for script writing, also editing functions as well. And what we hoped to do in this video is to showcase Standard 20 and a real deep look at the egalitarian relationships that are formed between members and staff members entirely within our community in the clubhouse. A good example of Standard 20 can be showcased when Johnathan lends his expertise and skills. And that's something that we're going to delve in a little bit deeper after we've seen the video.
We are thrilled to present to you Deja Brew to you, and we look forward to discussing the impact our cafe has on our clubhouse community.
We hope you enjoy the video.
God, lads, I wish we had a decent cup of coffee in the clubhouse.
I'm tired of paying for overpriced coffee.
It would be great to have a place where we could relax and enjoy a great cup of coffee.
I know, right? It would be great if we had our own coffee shop.
Let's do it.
Great, we could use that unused canteen space upstairs.
Let's brainstorm some ideas and see what we can come up with.
I have to choose our coffee shop team that represents our clubhouse inviting personality.
I managed the budget, ensuring funds were allocated to furniture, equipment and supplies within our limits.
I communicated with the members to update them on the project's progress.
I helped design the space to create a welcoming atmosphere.
I helped with the cleaning and the preparation of the space before it opened.
I worked with the builders and the contractors to ensure that the construction was completed within time and within budget.
I helped set up the kitchen and ensured we had enough equipment and supplies.
I participated in the health and safety training to ensure that our coffee shop has met all the regulations.
Okay, lads, now the Deja Brew is open, time to have a cup of coffee. But I've got a problem. Does anyone know how to use this machine?
I don't know how to use it.
Neither me. I don't know how to make coffee.
Surely we're not doomed to a lifetime of instant coffee.
Luckily, one of our members, Johnathan, had a solution. With his expertise in the hospitality industry, he volunteered to train others on how to use the coffee machine. Thanks to Johnathan's expertise and the dedication of our members, we quickly learned how to make delicious coffees. Our coffee dock, Deja Brew, was finally ready to serve customers. Word spread quickly about our delicious coffee and inviting atmosphere.
Remember when we first started this project? It's like a dream come true.
I'm so proud of what we accomplished together.
Deja Brew is the new community hub.
Thanks to the success of our coffee shop, 15 members have signed up for a fully certified barista skills training program. Just like Johnathan, they could pursue an exciting career with opportunities in the hospitality industry, from luxury hotels to cruise ships. We hope to gain opportunities for our members, and we have a plan to invite local industry to join us for a coffee.
Great, thank you. I've seen that film several times now, and I always spot something else in it that we can pick up in our discussion. It's always really good to see. So what we're going to do now, with the help of all four of us here, unpick some of the themes of the film. But it's good to start, I think, by acknowledging that kind of change and transformation, especially in something as complicated as a clubhouse can be sometimes, is quite difficult. So given that impressive operation, given that it's took a while to get everything underway, it must have been challenging. So can you talk us through how you managed the whole Platinum Clubhouse and got the whole community on board with the transformation?
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose people on this webinar will know that within Clubhouse, change can be really difficult to manage. And I think when we had that simple desire, we all came together and we said, I'd love a good cup of coffee. And we kind of stuck to that, and we built it up from something quite simple. It's evolved. We had aspirations. We had a vision then that came on after. But really it was talking and communicating together and making sure that we truly understand what the members felt was missing within the clubhouse, I suppose. And in recognising that, it's a start to perhaps remedying it. And the Deja Brew video, we hope it showcases a powerful illustration of, clubhouse principles. You'll see there on the video, a lot of work order day was carried out in the preparation that continues today, and we enjoyed a break there. So actively members are partaking in all aspects of running that, and it's a space where staff come in, enjoy working side by side, and it's part of our employment unit. We also have evidence there in the video of equal decision making. Very organically, you saw a huge group of us, great numbers were attending those kind of planning meetings. And there was nothing for members without members. And that was down to the colour of the walls, to the cabinets, to kitchen design and everything in between. But perhaps, I suppose, with the look at Standard 20, what we really wanted to showcase today
So Johnathan, it seems like you had a key role in it.
Yeah, I had, when I saw that they had a problem with the coffee machine and that no one knew how to use it, because of my 10 years in the hotel industry in my workplace called Ratsala House, it's a country house, I had recently done my own course in there on the job with the new machine that we have. So we were trained in there in work on how to do that, and we were given a pamphlet. So when I heard that Platinum needed some help on how to use the machine, I brought one of those pamphlets with me, but I also at the same time came in here, used the computers and looked up more in-depth knowledge about the different machines and how to use them. I then got the pamphlets up, put them together, and I did a demonstration, and not just with members, but also with staff and how to do it. I did, I think, about 2 or 3, wasn't it, Caroline?
You did, and I was lucky enough to have attended those workshops where Johnathan literally took the machine out of the box. And I think when we had that problem that we encountered, that we couldn't operate the coffee machine after putting so much effort into our overall project, I think to never default as a clubhouse, I suppose, into the thought that maybe that there's a presumption of expertise, that perhaps me as director might have been able to come in and buffer and, you know, create solutions. The solutions, when we double down, lay with our members. Our members were able to solution that. And I was speaking to Johnathan about this, and he would know that certainly if it's between himself and me, who would make the better coffee, he certainly would win out on many, many fronts. And really, if it was a presumption that I had the expertise to migrate that situation of where we were, it would have went back into the box. So we were just so glad that we had Johnathan to train our staff team, to train our members, and to really provide that quality that now people have come to kind of expect when they are in Deja Brew.
Yeah, it was great to see everyone who came in to do the courses to grow and learn, along with myself learning new things as well. We started making some good coffee and also tea as well. I think it also helped build a stronger sense of community, and we are learning together and supporting each other. And as well, at this moment in time, we have recently gotten an email about a course coming up in Naas, a town near enough to us, up near the race course there, where they're doing a coffee course for learning people to do it. So hopefully a lot of our members sign up to do it.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good, interesting point, and one that we can pick up on later. It's got sort of wider implications of this, isn't it? We're kind of also, through the work all day, passing on some skills that have got real value and can help members' recovery as they move into employment too. So we were thinking about some of the examples that we can bring from Mosaic. So Marylee, you've been with us about 18 months now, I think, isn't it? So can you tell us a bit about your story and some of the difference you've been making at Mosaic?
Yes, thank you, Chris. As Chris said, I've been with Mosaic for 18 months, and prior to coming to Mosaic, my most recent career background was in administration, but I also have a background in catering. So I didn't really want to go back to work as such in admin. So I decided to bring out the catering side that I have and chose to work in the cafe and garden unit instead. I've since working in the cafe and garden unit, I've taken up a leadership role, delegating, training up new members as they come into the unit. And even just last week, we had a situation where 2 staff members were off sick, and I was able to step into a leadership role, delegating and making sure that taking control of the situation and making sure that our lunch output, which is 12:30 every day, where we serve lunch every day, was met at 12:30. And everybody who attended the clubhouse that day was able to have lunch at the set time.
Yeah, that's such a good example, because your role in that recent event showed how important it was that you were not only needed and expected to be present as a member, we needed you to be a leader within the clubhouse. At that time. You were kind of effectively managing the cafe that day. Another thing I know you did on that day was help new members and guide them through their roles in the kitchen,
Yes.
which was really good to see. So you become a kind of valued member for your leadership skills as well as other sort of practical skills. So an interesting question though is that it sounds like you've had quite a varied career before your time at Mosaic anyway. You were kind of in work quite a bit. But what is it about the Clubhouse setting that's made a difference? You could have, say, decided to pursue work and go straight back into work, but you've worked with us at Mosaic. So what is it about the Clubhouse that's made you stay?
So I have had a lovely career, but I've lived with a lot of self-doubt. But since being at Mosaic, I've gained a lot of cheerleaders who've sort of helped me to believe in myself a lot more than I do. I knew that my absence was noticed when I failed to attend the Clubhouse one day. And when I came in, I heard a joke that was made about the sandwiches not being able to make themselves because Marylee wasn't in that day. So they didn't presume expertise that day. They knew that my expertise for preparing filled sandwiches for the cafe was needed. So that made me chuckle and it gave me a little bit of a boost. From taking part in the work order day to having the confidence and the opportunity to address all of you to here today, there's been so much support from the members and all my cheerleaders at Mosaic, and especially the support of the staff.
Great, thank you. So what next, Marylee? What's the future got in store?
Well, that's a really interesting question because when I joined 18 months ago, I didn't know how my life was going to change, and it's changed drastically for the positive, I must say. I was encouraged and I undertook increasing social confidence course with Mosaic here at the Clubhouse. So I've got the confidence to address you all today. I've undertaken peer support training and retrained as a peer support worker. And I'm happy to say that after a long selection process, I have secured a role as a peer support worker for leading NHS Foundation Trust.
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Marylee. That's really good. So we're hoping that with these examples, we're sort of challenging that presumption of expertise, which we talked about in the Clubhouse setting, demonstrating that members can take on leadership roles, and where they can, it makes a massive difference to the Clubhouse as a whole. And this change and transformation comes about through necessity as well. It comes about through the sense that these things are needed in order for the work order day to function, or in order for the work order day to deliver what it's supposed to. It drives from that kind of sense of need and sense of urgency, which is something really important to point out as well, I think. So what we'll turn to now for the kind of second bit of the webinar is talk a bit about the impact, the wider impact of these meaningful relationships on the Clubhouse and beyond, on the kind of wider community as well. So we've got a few examples we can talk about from Mosaic, but I'll turn to Caroline and Johnathan first, because I know you've got some great examples about the impact on your work order day, on members' recovery and progression, and on the wider community as well.
Absolutely. And it was something, I suppose, you've seen the project and played out on the video, and to actually spend time in Deja Brew, there was something I couldn't put my finger on, but there was something quite special about it. You know, great, you're having coffees, you're meeting, but something was there. And I was sitting with a group of members and I was reflecting on that. And it was the members that told me that it was very important to recognize that in a lot of cases, the clubhouses are provided with a space. And while we're incredibly grateful, particularly ourselves as an hospice agency, to have a space, it's to acknowledge that those relationships and perhaps having a building, you know, provided by a wider support service network is less than egalitarian at times, you know. So when we were, you know, developing the Deja Brew coffee doc, we were inadvertently, you know, reinforcing that this was our space. We were gaining autonomy, and we were making a space that had been given into a space that we had created. And I think that was the little difference there, you know, that we really felt ownership on it. And I suppose at that point, on that point, we linked our Deja Brew coffee dock then to our employment unit. And we started to seek if we could create opportunities for our members using this space. And we went about creating kind of opportunities there within it. And myself and Johnathan, we were talking about the work order day, and you make some observations about how the work order day runs in Deja Brew.
Yeah, work order day is very strong here in Platinum Clubhouse, in whatever department they decide to help out in. But in the coffee dock, members rotate throughout the cafe, with one staff member popping in and out to make sure everything's running smoothly. But the members take on the responsibility for making the coffee, taking the orders as well for the coffee. They serve then the customers the coffee as well, and maybe a little bit of biscuit here and there, or on Wednesdays like today, juice, for example, because it's our healthy eating day here today. Yeah. So we make a juice, or we make scones or something like that, and we serve it to them as well. They also manage taking the stock. So if something's needed, they take it down, write it down, bring it down to the kitchen unit, and then it's placed on the orders that we need this in for the next day or next 2 days in a row. This has created a new popular place for work order day in Platinum Clubhouse, and it helps staff members learn how to make the coffee, so as hopefully that they, when they go and do the course, that they can go forward in the industry to learning more about it as well, and getting a job in that industry.
Yeah, and we were looking at the potential of a barista skills training course. And, you know, Johnathan, you were saying that there's plenty of employment opportunities in this area.
Yeah, you can work in many different places. You can work for any of the big coffee plate, 3 big coffee chains. One, for example, is Costa. There's 3 of them here in Newbridge. You could work in the local hotel, the Cadine. You can travel the world on cruise ships. You can make any sort of good cup of tea. You can travel, or coffee. You can travel all the way around the world, from as far as Singapore to all the way to Australia or Argentina. The world is your oyster if you have it.
If you have that skill, yeah, the world's your oyster. And I suppose we were looking at that concept of creating opportunities for our community here. And the employment unit, we tasked you with a little bit of an exercise, I suppose. Both physical, you got out and about, feet on the street around Newbridge here for us in response to coming on this webinar. So tell me about your findings around the community.
So me and 2 students went out about, and 2 of us took down the coffee shops list of how many there were, and the other person took the restaurants. So in total, in the centre town area, or just within the vicinity of it, there's a total of 17 restaurants, and then 26 cafes, whether they be small or big. I know that we can in the future rival them, because like we've only just begun making the coffee, so hopefully we can maintain a high standard and work towards getting a really, really high standard. So we're about down here, some of them are here, the rest of them are all up here. So if we can get medium to high in the future, that would be what we're attaining to get.
Yeah, we're looking for that experience, and what we're hoping to do is to really enhance the opportunities for members, but for members to be very much active participants in this. So having done that piece of research, it's now time that we kind of activate a plan, and our plan that we're hoping to do is to invite industry leaders, people that own these coffee docks, the people and coffee shops, and people that are managing these coffee chains. We're going to invite them in here to sample, I suppose, our welcome, learn a little bit about Platinum. The members will be able to meet and guide these guests into our Deja Brew space. And then we're going to prepare them a coffee. And just like that, we're hoping to build connection. We're looking then if we can migrate, once we have them there, a conversation about transitional employment programs, also about opportunities for supported employment, perhaps get a mailing list. There we're creating opportunities, but there's no better way of doing that. And I suppose when you have worked and supported the work of an employment unit, it's sometimes very hard to find those opportunities for members to actively create and be part of that. And in this way, it really is getting members involved in a very equal way of showcasing how we do things. Yeah.
Like we've recently found out that in the town, one of the big companies of the big three, Insomnia, the one in Newbridge, is looking for a person or two. And then the Riverbank Theatre, their Riverbank Cafe, is also looking for staff as well.
And that's it. And when we have these opportunities, certainly the person I'll be picking the phone up and looking to schedule to come in these days is Johnathan. You know, he's the member that's going to create these opportunities. I certainly will be there to support, but I can imagine my support might look at me going around picking up the empty coffee cups or something. You know, it'll be him doing all the mastery and the taste and the experience will come from the members, and the welcome will come from the members. So certainly that will be an opportunity for me to take a backseat supporting role and really let my membership shine.
Yeah, that's great. There's such a lot in there. One thing I think I want to sort of pull out of that, which is really impressive and something that we stick to too, is that the work that we do within the clubhouse is of high standard, and we kind of value that as part of the kind of work all the day. And there's no point in sort of playing at this, is there? It's like, you know, you want to make the best coffee you can make, and you want it to be as good as coffee that people can make. In a similar way with the work that we do in our cafe here, we kind of pride ourselves in the quality of what we do. We don't take the easy route. We take the route that says we want people to have freshly prepared, healthy meals every day that are affordable and in direct competition to all the kind of billion chicken shops all over South London. We do it because, you know, because it's the right thing to do, because it really enhances the work all the day, and it sort of does sort of properly mirror the real world in terms of the work that we want our members to continue their recovery into. So yeah, that's really, really powerful
That's
example.
Great, Chris. And as well, we would say that the quality has to be there. And while it can be sometimes, seeing Johnathan saying we're here and we need to get here, it can be a bit of a feel when I think in my bar we're here, but he's coming from a 5-star hospitality background, and he's showing me there's a ways to go. Whereas I was thinking, my goodness, we're there. So it's lovely when the membership challenge us to do better. They're saying, no, we need to get to that space, Karen. You think we're there, but we're moving to it, and that you have the confidence and you're the one driving that. That
Slow
is
and steady
lovely.
gets you there faster than going as fast as lightning.
Perfect. Yeah. Well said.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. That's really good. Yeah. So I mean, at Mosaic, we haven't got a really proper coffee machine, have we? So we can't compete. We can't compete with you on that. But one example that I think I wanted to talk about a bit from us was the amazing array of IT skills that we could still have within our membership, and the way that it's members that support other members to increase their skills. I mean, everything is online these days. Can't really do anything much. Apply for jobs, sort out your benefits, sort out appointments, or function very well without the ability to be online. And we've got members with some great skills who regularly work with others. One of the things we make quite a lot of use of is the Canva software, which produces really nice posters, or it can do really nice posts for our social media. And it's also a really good way to create really smart, snappy videos, which is quite easy to edit once you get into it, but there's a skill to it which needs to be learned. So we've got a member here that's really highly skilled in all that. He runs regular workshops for members to give them the confidence to then join our communications team and get involved with some of the more creative work of the work all the day. And we've also decided, because we're lucky enough at Mosaic to be a training base, we've got colleagues here with us at the moment, to add a little extra add-on session within our colleague training about Canva, and give this member the opportunity to kind of share that. I think there's two kind of reasons why we do that, really. One is that it's a really good way to promote something which is key to so many different parts of the work all the day. And also it covers the points that we're discussing today. It shows that, you know, think about the skills that you've got within the membership to enhance the work that you're doing. There's a lot of real talent out there that you can use. One example of the last few years that we're really, really proud of is when we were emerging from the pandemic. And of course, we were all stuck in our homes, and staff had to just keep contacting members to make sure they're okay. And we were trying to engage in online meetings and activities and virtual unit meetings. And I'm sure it's the same for colleagues all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
We're lucky enough to get quite a lot of money from our supporters to enable us to buy laptops and tablets for our members. But then, of course, found that a lot of the members didn't know how to use them, and we had to configure them, and had to kind of get members to, in a socially distanced way, come into Mosaic and try and help them configure it, which is a big challenge. But we had a team of 5 or 6 members who became our digital ambassadors, who had computer skills way beyond anyone on the staff teams, people with computer science degrees, people with background in programming, and without them, we couldn't have done that, and we couldn't have got so many people online either. But there's all kinds of ways where we sort of try and really use those members' skills.
Thank you, Chris. In addition to the work order day, Mosaic places great importance on the experience of new members, setting goals and encouraging them to lead in areas of strength. Like I was given the opportunity to lead in the kitchen and I took it. So it was an area of strength that they didn't know I had because my background is in administration, but I took that on. Another example is our member Catherine, who worked in central government, who's now helping our fundraising team with research and drafting bids for funding. At Mosaic, we're always looking at new ways to improve members' opportunities for recovery and progression. This can mean encouraging members to use their skills to help others. So we have quite a number, as Chris has mentioned, number of digital ambassadors who are using their skills, but we have other members that run other non-work order day activities, such as the Write Club, creative writing. And we have the baking group that's led by somebody else who's got baking skills. We've got art classes, yoga, knitting, and all sorts of activities that happen outside of the work order day. So we have not only the work order day, but we have activities outside of that run by our members.
So clubhouses have got a story to tell through the skills of the members. And you've heard a couple of examples from just our two clubhouses today, but through in a similar way, I wanted to sort of point out in a similar way to the work that Platinum are doing, because of the work that we're really proud of in our cafe. We've got links with employers in hospitality, a group called Only a Pavement Away, who want to get people into hospitality and catering jobs, and we're working really closely with them, and got a link with the coffee chain Pret, who've got lots of branches all over the UK as well, and they're keen to kind of fast track some of our members into their careers, knowing that they're sort of building those skills and developing their sort of leadership, if you like, through the clubhouse. So we are coming to the end now of the kind of formal talking bit, if you like, of the webinar. So for now, I do want to temporarily thank Caroline and Johnathan and Marylee for joining us. But just want to say that we've covered quite a lot. I want the key idea that you all take away to be to think about this presumption of expertise in anything needed in the clubhouse. The expertise that you need to make the work order day better and make the clubhouse better can equally come from members as it can from staff. If there's one thing I want you to take away, then that is probably it. And without that central belief kind of baked into what we do, we may not achieve the egalitarian relationships that we all strive for in the clubhouse movement. So I think that's the main things we need to say today, but we'd be lovely to hear from you and see if there's any questions.
Thank you both so much today for today's presentation. We would like to open up the floor for questions. For those of you that have a question, please submit your questions in the Q&A panel located in the bottom of your Zoom screen. We do have a few questions already lined up for you, so we'll go ahead and kick off with, what strategies can you share to help staff and members step out of their comfort zone and try different opportunities?
Okay, that's a good one. Shall I go first, Caroline and Jonathan? Then you can
absolutely.
a couple
Yeah.
of things. Yeah. That's a good one, and that links to me to the idea that Clubhouse staff really need to be generalist and need to be able to step in and be put out of their comfort zone. I mean, you talked about about being out of your comfort zone with the work that we expect members to just get on with, and the same applies, I think, to everyone in the community. I mean, one of the things that we have to do is sort of staff do have to kind of step in, don't they, and get on and get on with things. But to me as well, it's about the skill of staff in being able to really engage and inspire members. We want people with that kind of quiet confidence to be able to say, you know what, I need to do this now, or this needs to be done now. Can you help me do it? And they might not think they've got the skills, but they probably have. And sometimes the member of staff is equally kind of think, well, I'm going to have a go because it's not going to get done unless someone does it. And you have to just leap in. So there's lots of things from lots of different standards and lots of different principles of the Clubhouse that you can unpack in there.
And I spoke a bit earlier about having cheerleaders. Even when I thought that I couldn't do something, I was encouraged and motivated to actually give it a go. And I'm here talking to you about that now. If I wasn't given that opportunity, then, I wouldn't be here now. So this is a perfect example of that working.
It was this lovely kind of poem that came across my desk at one time. And it was called An Invitation to a Brave Space. And it spoke about themes of stepping into something